out there in Zoom land and everything. It's good to see everybody, well, virtually. Anyways, I just wanted to share a little bit about my mom that maybe some of you have remembered, but a lot of you know that Mom was born in Los Angeles, especially East LA. And so she was very proud of the fact that she was born in East LA because it was a very multicultural type of environment, right? With a lot of Asians, Hispanic, and also Blacks as well, mixed all in together. And I think that's a real part of my mom because she's always was accepting of so many people of all different races, and it doesn't matter what background or where you came from, she was always that type of person. So I felt like her roots in East LA really kind of helped her become the person who she was. And eventually she became a teacher working with students that were of lower income status, which in a sense is really nice because she gave that to myself as a teacher, where I ended up working there for over 30 years of my career as a teacher. Anyways, the fact that Mom did so much, and even at the time when she was in high school, she was one of the first Asian American girls that was high school president. And that says a lot too in that time because she was a leader, she was able to get people together, she was always wanting to make people feel good about themselves. And I'm pretty sure that's why she was voted, as class president, because she knew how to be able to get people together and work together and be able to do all those things that made her who she was and I feel like still is today with us in spirit. So on that end, I'm so thankful because she gave that to Darren and I as part of the gift to be that type of person who was really open-minded, right? And as well as being accepting of others, no matter what area they came into. Because later on in life, she actually went back and got a degree in special education. So on top of that, she already had her BS degree, Bachelor of Science. She went to get another degree, and then she went on to get a master's in teaching in special ed. And so therefore, she was working with high school kids in the resource department. And to me, I thought, wow, Mom, you're going to be done with teaching. You just had after when Darren and I left, she decided to go ahead and come back and wanted to go in another round of teaching, which says a lot, after raising kids and then going back to teaching. She decided that she wanted to help serve. And I always felt like with Mom's attitude, it was always a serving attitude, right? As a teacher, you kind of have to give up that part of yourself because you're giving out to other students and everything, and to the parents as well. So I felt like her doing that was a real reflection, again, going back to the beginning of her roots in East LA, where she was raised by my grandma and grandpa and my uncle as well. But on a different note, I was thinking too of also that Darren and I, as we were growing up, we had a lot of fun on vacations. Especially this one time, Darren and I, Mom and Dad, were in Hawaii. Darren and I decided we're going to take a little floaty out in Waikiki. And I told Darren, let's go ahead and go way out there because there's got to be fish. Okay, we were pretty far out there. Because all of a sudden, I said to Darren, I said, who's that lady that's waving at us? Not yelling, but she's waving at us. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Darren says, I think that's Mom. And I think we better get back over there. And what was really cute was she didn't really scold us. She just told Darren and I, please don't go out there because I can't swim. Therefore, that's why she made sure Darren and I got swimming lessons. So she always said to Darren or I, if I'm in a pool and I'm drowning, one of you kids will be able to save me. So on that note, it was kind of like, okay, Mom, we'll do that for you, of course. But the fact is, she was a person who never really, truly got upset at us. I mean, if she did, it was a very small reprimand. She was very consistent, very calm about things, but she was always happy, joyful, always had a smile, right? Even towards the end, even though the final months of her were a little bit difficult for her, anytime I'd come down, anytime Darren and Joyce were around, especially the grandkids, she would just light up. So to me, I felt like she never complained about being in pain. She was always wanting to do what's best for everybody else. She really was very selfless in that way too. So I was very thankful that we got to see that part of my mom as she was getting towards older and later infirm. She still kept up that really nice, even though she was, inside I felt like she was probably hurting inside. I felt like on the outside, she didn't want to really have that burden for us to share. She wanted to have us be able to say, here you kids are, I'm so happy just to be with you. And that was her main focus, was really to be with the family and Dad, of course, too. So in a way, that the whole thing kind of culminates of who she was as a very kind, considerate, always very generous, right? If you needed something, Mom would be there. I mean, sometimes even at our food get-togethers, we have a lot of parties, Mom would say, well, you know, I have all this freezer food of hot dogs. Do you want a box of these hot dogs? I'm like, no, Mom, that's okay. Caroline, I got a whole roll of toilet paper. Do you need something to take back up to college? Oh, no, I'm okay, Mom. Oh, no, go ahead and take it. Because you go to Mom's house, that's like a mini Costco, okay? It really is. You go in there, and there is like, where's all this food? And it was just her and Dad. Really. But she always told me, you always have to be prepared. Kind of like the Girl Scout motto. She said, you gotta be prepared, Karen. You don't know who's gonna come to the house. You don't know who's gonna be there. And she always had open arms for people. And food was a big part of her life. And being with family, that was just what she had to do. So I said, okay. That's why we always had 2 refrigerators in our house. I said, you can come anytime. She had people drop by. And so to me, I felt like that was a really nice, again, gesture of her generosity, of who she was as a mom and as a person, individual. I always felt like, too, that Mom was very well loved by so many people, and that when she really, like I said before, when she rarely got mad, so she did, it was maybe for a very good reason, it was very rare, but she was so positive. Darren and I are grateful that we had a mom who was very optimistic about life, and that's who our mom was. She was always wanting the best for each of us. It didn't matter what we were going through. Her words were, she always told me this too. She says, it's important, Caroline, that you keep your focus on what's important when your life is easy, but also when it's difficult. So that's what she said. Remember, keep your focus on being positive when it is easy, but also when it's also difficult times too. And I thought, okay, that's really good advice for me on that and for both of us, because she went through a lot, right? She went through a lot as earlier on in her upbringing and everything, and later on in her life, but she always had that with her all the way through. So Darren and I are very thankful, and we're thankful, everybody, that you're able to come share this time with John and I, and Darren, and Joyce, and JoJo, and Sydney, and Taylor. And I want to say also a special thank you to our caregivers, Olive and Michael and Glenn and Josephine, because they were there with my mom, taking care of my mom and my dad for a period of time, and we thank them because they were such a big help to help them and give them comfort during times like Darren and I couldn't be there. So, and there was lots of other people too to probably thank too as well, but we're just happy that you're all with us, that you can celebrate my mom's life, and she would want you to go out in life to be happy. She would want you to go in life and go forward and be that person who you are. So, thank you, everybody.